So you're in a predicament where you're like, I want to build a bunch of muscle, but I'm a little fluffy and I also kind of want to lose some fat too. So what would be the best next thing for me, right? What should I really do to get the most out of this? Well, I've got some really good news for you actually. Beginners, especially beginners who usually have a little more fat, maybe they're a little more overweight, can usually do both of these at the same time when they first start out, okay? You gotta listen closely here. So, they can usually do both of these when they first start out, and that is what we call recompositioning, okay? It's usually called a recomp, but basically you're going to very slowly build a little bit of muscle and also lose a little bit of fat. So what my recommendation would be, since most beginners can do this, and this doesn't last very long, this would be maybe 1 to 2 months. So just realize that 1 to 2 months of consistent weight training will allow you to do this. But what I would recommend if you're trying to build muscle and lose fat first, and you're in that beginner category, is to go to the NIH Bodyweight Planner on Google. And from this, you can find out your calories that are recommended for your daily energy allowance, okay? How many calories you burn doing physical activity, just keeping you alive, etc. And what that number will give you when you go to the NIH Bodyweight Planner is your maintenance calories. Now, the maintenance calories are what we're gonna wanna eat at, because when we're recomping, we're trying not to ultimately eat too much in a surplus or build too much muscle. And if you eat over that maintenance, you're going to be also gaining a lot of fat. However, you can't really eat below your maintenance calories, because if you eat below your maintenance calories, you're not going to have anything to build even a little bit of appreciable muscle. So eating at your maintenance calories when you're a beginner and just starting out allows you to kind of sit in that sweet spot of a recomp zone where you can build a tiny bit of muscle and lose a tiny bit of fat. This will not be as profound as if you say, I just want to lose fat. Okay, well, if you cut yourself in a calorie deficit, you will lose fat. You will also lose some muscle. Flip side, of course, you can also do the same thing the other way, where if you just want to build a lot of muscle, you can just go into a surplus, build a lot of muscle, but you will also gain a little bit of fat on top of that too. So we're kind of taking advantage here if you are a beginner that, you're usually able to get away with this recomping. I've been lifting for a lot of years now, 10 to 15, a long time. I should really look that up. I can't get away with this just because the muscle that I have, it's too much. Once you become more advanced, this doesn't really work as well, because your body's used to that scenario you're in. So once you're eating at those maintenance calories, spend 1 to 2 months lifting and kind of reassess where you are in your body composition. So if you look pretty good, as in you have a little bit of muscle, you've lost a little bit of fat, that's great. Honestly, I would maybe try to just do it for another month, maybe even another couple months. If you're at a position where you are very, very lean, as in too lean, you could then think about actually going into a calorie surplus or bulking a little bit. If you're at a point where, of course, too fat, you spilled over a little bit, you can maybe try to cut your calories for a couple months after that point. But really ride the wave of being able to eat at maintenance and lose a little bit of fat and build a little bit of muscle if you are a beginner. Super crucial thing. So the reminder here that why we ultimately want to build muscle and make muscle building a priority is that when you build muscle, you will literally start to burn calories at rest doing absolutely nothing at all. So when you build some muscle, this can help greatly with helping promote weight loss down the road in the future. So it should really, really be a primary goal. And if you are considering doing this recompositioning diet where you're eating at maintenance calories, weight training needs to be of high importance to you, simply because, as we just described, if you build some muscle now, it's going to be 10 times easier to lose that weight in the future if you do gain a little bit of weight. But also on the flip side, it's easier to kind of keep some of that muscle mass too if you end up losing some weight. So when you lose weight in general, you're going to lose some muscle, but if you have a lot of muscle to begin with, it's going to allow you to have a little more reserve when you do decide to cut down the road in the future. So if you're a beginner, try to eat at maintenance calories, lift for 1 to 2 months, reassess after that point. Try to lose some body fat, try to lose some weight. Don't overthink this. Honestly, just go into the gym and work out hard and you will notice some good changes in your body composition. I promise you. Like the video if that gave you some good value and it gave you a little bit of hope for yourself if you were confused on what to do.